Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are going to dive straight into the hard facts behind Thalapathy Vijay's truly historic transition. I mean, going from a cinema superstar to the actual chief minister of Tamil Nadu? It's one thing to be a beloved icon on the silver screen, but transforming that massive fanbase into a highly organized, state-conquering political machine, that is incredibly rare. So let's dive right in and see exactly how the leader of the newly formed TVK completely rewrote the rules of Indian politics.
60. For 6 whole decades, Tamil Nadu's political landscape was locked down by a strict duopoly. Power just swung back and forth predictably between two Dravidian giants, the DMK and the AIA-DMK. But what is absolutely fascinating is how a single massive disruption broke that 60-year streak in 2026. This number represents the immense, entrenched political weight that Vijay's newly minted party had to overcome. And as we're about to see, they didn't just edge past it, they dismantled it at an astonishing pace.
Section 1. Securing the majority. Let's look at the actual math to understand how TVK captured the state legislature. Because enthusiasm is great, but at the end of the day, electoral math is what actually puts you in the chief minister's chair. Now, this timeline brilliantly illustrates the sheer speed of his ascent. Look at this. He goes from officially launching a political party in February 2024 to taking the oath of office from Governor Rajendra Vishwanath Arlikar on May 10, 2026. That is just over 2 years, and literally 2 days later, he's activating a massive statewide security task force. This wasn't a gradual climb, it was a vertical launch. The big takeaway here is how effectively he weaponized his decades-old welfare networks, instantly converting them into a formidable grassroots political framework. The coalition math here is where it gets really interesting. While TVK won an impressive 108 seats on its own, emerging as the single largest party, they actually fell just short of the 118 needed for an outright majority in the 234-member assembly. So how did he bridge that gap? Well, he secured 120 seats by building a strategic multi-party coalition. He brought in the Congress, the VTK, the Indian Union Muslim League, and the left parties. This just proves that beyond his superstar charisma, Vijay and his team really mastered the complex, highly tactical art of alliance building. If we pull up the actual Election Commission data for specific constituencies, the magnitude of this disruption is undeniable. Just look at Thalapathy. TVK's candidate secured nearly 52% of the vote share, completely blowing past the DMK candidate, who sat way back at 28%. Over in Gummidipoondi, TVK secured over 40%, comfortably beating the AIA-DMK at 28.5%. The crucial point? These weren't nail-biters. TVK secured massive vote margins over established Dravidian heavyweights in territories that were historically on lock by the old guard. Moving into Section 2, swift administrative action. Right after presenting his majority, passing his floor test, and traveling to Delhi to meet with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Vijay completely pivoted from campaigning to concrete governance. He didn't waste a second. The focus was immediate, tangible delivery. Bam! 200 units of free power for domestic consumers rolled out. But perhaps the most aggressive initial move was Operation Clean TN. He activated 65 specialized anti-narcotic task force units across all 38 districts of the state. And notice the structure here. These units totally bypass traditional hierarchies and report directly to a newly formed state security council. And he backed up these new units with extraordinary jurisdictional powers and his absolutely crystal clear public statement. He declared a zero tolerance for political interference in drug-related investigations. This is huge, guys, because he is deliberately using his first days in office to send a severe warning to existing political networks across the state. He is setting a very rigid tone right out of the gate.
Which brings us to Section 3, the final film hurdle. Now, this is a highly unusual dual narrative. While his political momentum is surging forward, his cinematic swan song is currently stuck in this unprecedented limbo.
Right before committing entirely to politics, Vijay completed his final film, Jana Nayagan, which translates to People's Hero. It's a massive 500 crore rupee political action thriller, but there's a catch. It remains unreleased due to a fierce, ongoing standoff with the Central Board of Film Certification over alleged objectionable content regarding religious sentiments and the armed forces. For a star whose releases are usually treated like literal state holidays in Tamil Nadu, this indefinite delay is a massive shock to the system. It is a striking bit of dramatic irony, right? A newly minted chief minister who can't even get his own movie released. Naturally, this delay hasn't just angered the fans. It has sparked intense reactions from political figures and the broader film fraternity. Actor-turned-politician Kamal Hassan weighed in impartially with this quote, pointing out that the certification process requires transparency, stating that freedom of expression should never be diminished by opacity. Industry leaders across the spectrum are questioning the sudden hurdles placed in front of this specific film, turning a movie delay into a major national conversation about artistic freedom. Compounding this cinematic hurdle is an absolute financial disaster. While the film was stuck in censor limbo, high-definition copies of the entire thing leaked online back in April. Because of this piracy leak, the producers and distributors are facing an estimated loss of up to 400 crore rupees, that's 4 billion rupees, down the drain before the film ever legally reached a single theater screen. It's a staggering financial blow to the end of a legendary 33-year cinematic career.
All right, Section 4. The new Thalapathy. This is a fascinating look at his personal evolution. How exactly is Thalapathy Vijay shedding his historically introverted, highly guarded movie star image to embrace the incredibly visible, relentless public life of a chief minister?
You can actually see this symbolic shift happening right before our eyes through his wardrobe. Ever since taking the oath, his official CM persona has been incredibly strict. A sharp black blazer, crisp white shirt, and black trousers. It projects pure business. But recently he made headlines by showing up to his longtime manager Jagdish's housewarming ceremony wearing a traditional silk vesti and shirt. By strategically swapping the formal blazer for traditional attire at personal events, he's carefully balancing the authority of his office with the accessible, culturally grounded persona his supporters expect. Turns out, being chief minister means your wardrobe gets scrutinized way more than any movie premiere.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, we're left with a rather profound question. Vijay has successfully pulled off one of the most remarkable career pivots in modern Indian history. But with his final film mired in controversy and the crushing daily demands of leading over 80 million people, one has to wonder, can he completely separate his new political reality from his massive cinematic legacy? Or will the two always be intertwined in Tamil Nadu's history? One thing is for sure, the script for his political career is already wilder than any movie he's ever starred in. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this gave you a clear, structured view into this massive political disruption. Keep asking questions, and I'll see you next time.